find my mic, we're good.
What's up?
I said when I find my mic, we're good.
Did you guys want mic stands? Or are you cool with like
we're
holding
perfect.
it?
Yeah,
We're
I'm
perfect.
good.
We're perfect
Okay.
doing that. This is a little more casual.
I get
Yeah.
you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's why I like holding the mic.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like I don't know. I feel like a mic stand's like constraining. You know what I mean?
I get you.
Yeah.
I feel the same way.
See, I like the mic stand only because of what, like, since we've done video, I've not have to worry about what I am like doing with my body while we're doing stuff.
Yeah.
In our last episode, for like 30 minutes, I was like leaned over to the side because I was talking to everyone.
Yeah.
But just the way it looked, I was like, I need to figure out a way to center myself.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I never like. I'm not used to holding a microphone.
Yeah,
you know
me
what I mean?
neither.
Yeah, that's why because
This is like-
there's a lot of people that we've interviewed before that aren't like really used to it.
Yeah.
So it starts out fine, but then eventually, you know, as the conversation goes, it slowly goes away. From it, you know. But
Exactly.
yeah,
Make it work.
let's do some introductions.
Right.
We got some guests today. I'm gonna do this Co-Bear style.
You got 4. Or you got 3.
Brain Graffiti issue 1 is out now at braingraffiti.com or braingraffiti.bandcamp.com.
Yes.
Yeah.
We are joined by Matt and Jess,
What's up?
co-owners.
Hi.
This I've been really excited about this episode.
Yeah, me too.
We've been
Oh
so
my
excited to
gosh.
come in. This is awesome. You guys invited us to do a podcast. We're like,
Yeah.
what? This is crazy.
Oh yeah,
No.
because because you got a hold of them. Because I just remember you sending me an email and was like, "Look who we're having on."
Yeah, so I think I'm pretty sure I follow both of you on Instagram.
Yeah.
And one of you posted this. And I was like, this is what we're doing. It's just a magazine instead. Like, this is awesome. So I was like, screw it. I'm gonna reach out and see what's up. Yeah.
Yeah, would you guys want to explain what Brain Graffiti is for everybody?
Oh, okay. I get okay.
Do you want me to do it or do you want to do it?
No, I'll do it.
Okay.
Okay, so well, it really was Matt's idea. He told me that he wanted to make a zine, and I was like, "You're crazy," because he was gonna do it with 2 other photographers. Originally, it was gonna be like a photo book.
Shout out Madison Reese Photography and Zoe Finkelman. She's in New York City right now. Shout out them.
Yeah. And then it kind of just turned into us doing it. And we both kind of reached out to all the bands for the first issue.
Yeah.
And we were actually getting responses. And we were like, okay, we're doing this now.
Yeah.
And
you put it out there. and
Yeah.
submitted.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then, like, we spent, like, months doing the pages and everything. It was like,
you know, it was just kind of like that, like, what's a good way to put it? Like, we're doing it, but at the same time, we're kind of, like, unmotivated because we're like, we don't know how this is going to turn
yeah.
out.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
No, yeah, I get you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly. I feel like that's a lot of projects, like especially when it's just like one of those like big brain ideas, you know.
Yeah,
No,
so that's why it was
yeah.
a bit of a slow process.
Yeah. And so then it came out in November eventually. Like, how long would you say we worked on it?
I came up with the idea, like, it was our, because we're still in college.
Yeah.
It was our spring semester of 2023. So last year.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I came up with it, and I didn't do anything because, you know, I was in school, and then, you know, I have a lot of other stuff going on besides that. And then I brought it to Jess because, you know, the stuff kind of fell through with, you know,
Yeah.
with the other people. And Jess is an amazing collage artist.
Thank
Follow her
you.
Instagram, Siamese Clippings. Shout her
Yeah,
Instagram.
these pages are really cool.
Yeah.
I love the
Thank
artwork in
you.
this.
See if I can-
Well, they're all your photos.
Yeah, so-
yeah, they're all his photos.
So we should probably so what we both do. So Jess, everything you see in those pages. Well, besides I take those are my photos that I took, but besides that, all the layout you see, all of that's all Jess putting it together. You know, I asked her like, hey, like, do you want me to help you with it? She's like, no, I got it, because she's very.
I'm
no,
like particular.
she's
about
very particular
it,
about
so.
it. So you know,
Yeah.
she deals with how it looks on her end, and then I am. Well, we both do this part, but reaching out to the bands and asking them, you know, we send them certain prompts sometimes, and then I would compile those, type them out in Google Docs. Me and Jess, cut them out, and the whole. I don't know if this is all made by hand actually.
That was one of the questions I had,
Yeah.
because when I was looking at the pages and I was reading the description, I hit my head for a second. I was like, are every single one done by hand? But I was like, no, okay, they do one and then you print it out.
Yes, exactly.
That was the thing we were trying to figure out.
But no, I love the art style of it, like that, like kind of like hands, like I've been trying to put my finger on what it reminds me of. Like it has that like you guys were saying in your description, like that 70s 80s like punk vibe to it.
Yeah.
And it fits really well, and like some of these pictures are sick too. Like
Thank you.
Perfect, like 80s underground for me.
Yeah.
Kind of vibe.
That's
I'm
what
getting
we
out
were
of.
trying to go for, because when I like literally in the inception of it, funny enough where the name came from. I'm a big Pinterest guy, and
Okay.
I love Pinterest boards. And I remember I was making this Pinterest board for myself, just like grungy photos, punk photos, like black and white film photos from like the 80s, Black Flag and shit like that. And I just named, it was like Brain Graffiti. It just came into my head. I was like, I'll name it Brain Graffiti, the board on Pinterest. And then I was like, oh, I kind of want to, like a couple months down the road, I'm like, I kind of want to start a zine. And I was like, oh, I had this cool name in like my Pinterest board that I had. So that's what I called it. And it was initially supposed to be actually a photo zine.
Okay.
But then, hence why I had a bunch of other photographers that I wanted to do it with. But scheduling, didn't work out. We all lived in like, different places.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it kind of turned more into like a journalistic-esque thing, because that's kind of what I want to do with my life. So I was like, I'm kind of I was able to combine a lot of the stuff that I love, and then just out of nowhere we just kind of turned it into this whole type of different thing, and just really
Took off with it.
yes
Yeah.
yes for
Looks
real.
as such. I mean, that's fantastic. And then to mold it all with local music, like,
Yeah.
where'd you get that from?
I don't know. I mean,
Well, I mean, it both kind of became like a passion for both of us.
Okay.
Because we went to our first ever like DIY show at the Dark Room
in South
in Elgin.
Yeah. Shout out Noel.
Yeah. And then we both like became obsessed with it. And then Matt got into Swim Shirt. He was asked to join Swim Shirt.
Yeah.
And like I went to every single one of their shows, and I just like became obsessed with it. So I don't know.
Yeah, we just kind of fell in love with the whole scene, because I mean, we're both. I'm 21. Jess is 21. We both just turned 21, so we're relatively young, and we both got into this scene like a little over a year ago. Like
Okay.
it was a little over a year ago that we got into the scene, and I think I could probably speak for both of us as like this scene was like it was something that I didn't realize I needed. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Because
Oh, yeah.
because I kind of, I don't know how to put this. Like, I was very much into music in high school and all that stuff, all the classic rock, 90s, 70s, 60s, 80s, all that shit. And I just like, it was knowing like back in like the 90s in like Seattle, like there was a scene, in Seattle, and all that stuff. And I didn't realize it was happening right under our noses the whole entire time. You know what I mean? Like there's a whole scene in Elgin. I've lived in Elgin 21 years, my whole life basically.
Okay.
I have had no idea a scene was going on there. And yeah, it's just, I mean, I don't really know where I think where the big inspiration came from to add like the journalistic part in terms of like bands was Glennie Friedman, who is one of my favorite photographers, and he's the reason I picked up a camera, and he took pictures of Black Flag, Minor Threat, skateboarding stuff. He also did like Public Enemy portraits, all the stuff from back in the day, and he has a photo book that is really inspirational to me, and in that photo book he has stuff like this. Like he reached out to all those people out there in the photos and asked them questions. So I don't want to say I stole that idea, but we kind of, morphed it into our own type of thing. And, I thought taking pictures of these bands, why not talk to them?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And I like, honestly, again, I feel like I'm an old fart. I say you're an old fart too.
He's
But
47 years old.
No. But Because back in I guess the heyday, like because there was like the local scene was really big, like everywhere. Like there were so
the
many
Southwest
just
suburbs.
yeah,
scene.
like even like
Which is
outside
where we
of
both came from.
Chicago,
Okay.
like there were just like each town had at least one local venue, and there was always shows. And then it felt like this was again like 2010, 2000, like into like the 15s, and then eventually it just kind of died out. And all the stuff that. Because when he was in Brother Violet, like I've never heard of the book club because I didn't know it was a venue, and because it's these like the idea of like DIY venues, I guess, is just very new, and it seems like that's what it is nowadays, which is very fascinating. But that's interesting that even like a place like Elgin would have like their own small little like community of bands and stuff that
It really is crazy.
It's like grown a lot too, like with Core Cottage and even like Syndicate Skate now.
Yeah, like a lot of venues that Jess just brought up, like shout out Core Cottage, shout out Matt, he owns Core Cottage, shout out Noelle, she owns Dark Room, she's also the bassist in Swim Shirt. There's Syndicate Skate Park in Elgin that we're having our release show number 2 at, actually.
Okay. That's in March, right?
Yeah, April 27th.
April. Okay,
Yes,
April
27th. Yeah. And we have a. Can I swear?
Yeah, absolutely.
We have fucking awesome bands playing that show.
I wrote these down. We got Night Freak,
Yes.
Stalled,
Yes.
Heaving.
Heaving. Yes.
Yeah.
I
Heaving.
can't read my own handwriting.
Yes.
Athens and
Athena.
and then Frontress.
Frontega. Frontega. Yeah.
God, I need a.
Yeah, but did I miss anything? I feel like there's one more place in Elgin that I forgot.
Take note. We need venues
I
to play shows at.
Yeah.
Pit Stop.
There's Pit Stop.
But it's in East Dundee.
There's this place called Pit Stop in East Dundee, which is literally a stone's throw from Elgin, like
Yeah.
10,
There was a
15
record
minutes.
store in Elgin that
Rediscover.
Rediscover.
Yeah,
Rediscover
my
Records.
old band. I mean, they're not old; they're still around.
Yeah.
They're
Uh,
old.
But Big Sky Hunter. Yeah, we played there in like 2016 or 17.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
It was
That's-
tight.
Oh, sick.
Yeah.
Nice.
I love those kind of shows. Though. All my
I
favorite.
like the DIY shows.
Yeah,
more,
all of my
honestly.
favorite shows have been like house shows or like just parties like that. Like playing the I was like something like when Mojo's or what's it called now?
Mojo. What is Mojo's now?
The tree,
Joliet?
something
The
tree
Treehouse
like,
or something?
I don't remember.
Where's that?
It's in Joliet. It was
Oh, shit.
Mojo's for a long time.
And then they got in trouble for like overpacking the
Oh, shit.
venue, so that
Yeah, that'll do it.
yeah. But then even something like this, you don't have to worry about it. When I saw them out at Brother Violet, when I saw them at the book club, I was trying to just find information about this place. I was like, "What is it?" And they're like, "Oh, you just got to message them." I was like, "What?"
The book club?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, funny story. That was our first Chicago show. Actually,
Yeah.
was the book club, and it was funny because we first off, it was like probably our third time. Like, how old were we? 20? I think 19.
I was
We were 19.
19.
We were
Yeah.
19 when we first went to the book club, and also like third time driving to Chicago by ourselves as well, and like
Which is mortifying.
Yeah.
and like totally like was not ready for that fucking trying to find parking by that Euro place right across the street, and then like I remember like we got the address and we're looking for it. We're like,
Where's the sign?
yes,
Like-
no, yeah. It's like, wait, is it through that door? And we're like, we
We were so scared.
I
we were
was
scared to go in.
terrified.
Yeah.
The first time we
Yes.
played there, I was terrified.
100%. No,
Yeah.
I totally agree. First
Yeah.
time I went there, I was
Yeah.
like, where are you taking
We were
me?
so scared. We
I
were
was
like,
staring at. I'm thinking of the same thing you guys
Yeah,
did.
yeah.
I was staring at the door. I was like, "This is where we're at. What is going on?"
literally.
Yeah.
But then you realize like those are like the best shows.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I played at this place called it was like the Eagles Club or the Eagles something in Indiana. It was like some like VFW bar, and we go in there and it's just like there's not anything set up, and a bunch of like old people just turn and stare at us, and we're like, "Oh,
Yeah.
we're here for the show," and like the guy's like, "You're in the basement," and you go outside, and it's
Get in the
literally
basement.
it's like stone steps that lead
Yeah.
into a room, just a big empty room with one hanging light just sitting there, and we were the first ones there.
all
And
you
like,
need.
we're gonna die here tonight. Like,
Best
it's-
shows.
Yeah, it was the
The
best show ever.
best.
Yeah, it was incredible.
Literally.
That was even him and I were in a punk band called Snow Leopard Love Affair, and we played that show at that bar in Oak Lawn called Demas, but we were downstairs
Yeah.
in what essentially looked like just an empty room with tile on the floor.
Yeah.
That's all it was. it was a great show. It was amazing. One of the best shows we had. But
You know what
it's yeah.
You know what I think it is I like those. I like shows. And do you guys still play out? Does your band still play out?
Yeah.
I like those shows where you're ground level with everybody.
Those are the best. Yeah.
Because it's like, and it's not. I mean, it's like not that like a metaphor of like literally like bringing everyone down, but just having that like energy. Like I think one of my favorite shows was at. It's not around anymore, but it's called the Hub Skate Park, and this band Terrorize, who is just this like obscene grindcore band that set their drum set up in the middle of the skate park, and it was just like a circle of people like around them. It was like, this is the coolest thing in the world.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, my band, we just played. Shout out Mousetrap in Madison. Madison's such a great place for music.
Oh, yeah.
If you guys ever think about going up and playing in Madison, it's awesome.
I'm actually going down there tomorrow to go see.
Oh, really?
This band Wolves of Glendale.
Okay.
They're playing at some place called the High Noon Saloon. So
Yeah,
we've
I've
heard of
heard
High
of
Noon
that,
Saloon.
I'll
yeah.
just scope that place out.
But my band played there a couple weeks ago, and yeah, it was the same thing. It was ground level, and I got pushed into our drum kit like 4 times while we were playing.
Yeah,
I kept stumbling and
That was
falling.
like the smallest space
No,
ever.
I mean it was.
Oh my
literally, it
God.
was smaller than this room.
Yeah.
The place was
Yes.
literally smaller than this room,
Yes.
and it was packed, and people like crowd surfing. Sort of. They
Yeah.
lifted one person up.
Sort of.
They
It was
lifted
One
one person.
guy,
They lifted
yeah.
one guy up. Okay. And then they let him down like 5 seconds
Yeah.
later. But yeah, that was about
So
it.
it counts.
It counts.
It counts.
Yeah.
Heck yeah, it counts. We joked about having a show in here. Maybe it's not that crazy.
Yeah, that's true. Although I don't want to see what you look like if somebody falls into your drum set.
Oh no. That's why I have so many drums.
Yeah, with that giant like metal barrier put around
Absolutely.
it, you'll be fine. We have. I definitely want to just go back and forth.
Yeah.
With these guys. We do have random podcast questions.
We do.
for
Okay.
our guests. First
Hell
off,
yeah.
do you believe in ghosts? And if you do you have a story to tell?
Ooh. I do. And all my stories, I'm pretty sure I made them up. But
Every good story is made up.
like, I don't know. I guess I do. My grandma, whenever she comes over to my house, she's like, I always see a little girl in the kitchen.
Well, that's terrifying.
She always says that to me. I don't know if I believe her. Like, I'm too scared to believe her. Okay,
I
I
understand.
believe in ghosts, but I'm too scared to believe.
Okay.
No,
Just
yeah.
saying. Yeah.
I do that. I do the same thing. You like any noise, you just try to rationalize.
Yeah.
Just to be like, no, that's the radiator.
yeah.
It's
to
It's
fall
just a
asleep.
cat.
But
It's
that's
just
scary.
a cat.
That's like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
is she messing with you? What's,
I hope so. I hope so.
oh my God, it's like, Grandma, what's going on?
I do believe in ghosts. I have no stories. I gotta be honest. I don't. Of course I believe. I just don't have any stories. I know, lame.
No, it's all.
Lame.
It's
That's
all
not
right.
lame.
I think because you originally didn't believe, and now do you?
I never didn't believe this. This started with a massive debate we had at work, and usually I enjoy debate, so if I find myself in one and everybody's agreeing, I will usually just take the other side to have fun.
So annoying.
And
so annoying.
and so that's I did for the longest time. I was like, okay, you need to explain to me the physical properties that would allow ghosts to exist. And I already like had an explanation in my head for it because I listened to somebody explain it. But the more we went into it, the more I was like, I don't even know how we asked somebody. I think we had Matt on. And,
Yeah.
I think we just randomly asked him. We were like, we should just ask everybody this.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've always believed in ghosts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You I don't think you've ever told me a ghost story. You haven't had one, right?
I haven't, because I don't have a ghost story. I have seen religious symbols in random things stories when I was a young kid.
Interesting.
Yeah,
What?
I saw a silhouette of the Virgin Mary on my dad's truck when I was like 8,
Damn.
and like it was clear as day. It was like a sun glazed silhouette, like that.
Damn.
It's a sign, Jay.
It is.
It's a sign.
Yeah, I have stuff like that. Dude, I told you the hoodie was a bad idea. I know the terrain. Yeah. So,
Yes, going back to the magazine. What
Okay.
what do you guys? So is it mostly like band interviews?
Okay, honestly, the first issue is not really that good of a representation of what we do now.
It was
That's okay.
a. It was a.
Yeah.
Like a tester.
Like,
Exactly.
yeah, because even like the design, I had no experience in graphic design
Real
or designing
quickly,
anything.
if it makes you feel better, we've done 107 episodes and we're still figuring it out.
It's just-
Okay.
it's a
We're gonna figure it
process.
out.
Yeah.
And I do have to say real quick that the next issue looks fucking incredible.
Yeah.
I'm just putting that out there. If you like Jess's stuff on Instagram and you see all the clashes she makes, you are going to love this issue, the next issue, because issue 2, because it leans into her style. All right, keep going.
Yeah.
I had to say that.
But yeah, for the first issue, we honestly just asked bands 2 questions. So I feel like it wasn't really even an interview. It was just like, oh, you're from Chicago. Tell us about it,
Yeah.
basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
But with the next issue, and I think going forward, we're focusing more on like in-depth interviews. Would you say so?
Yeah. I
yeah.
mean, like, I don't think this is we disclosed this anyways. But,
Yeah, literally we said we were doing it.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
but we so for this one, all of the questions were like Instagram DMs, like, hey, would you want to be in this zine? Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, here's 2 questions. Answer when you can. Send over. This time, because I have a background in journalism and I like journalism and it's fun, I decided, fuck it, let's fucking meet up with these bands and let's talk to them. And I mean, we interviewed. If you look on our Instagram, we posted these Polaroids we took of the bands. So we'd go and interview these bands, and then afterwards Jess would take a Polaroid of them, and
Yeah.
those 8 bands are the ones that we did in-depth interviews with.
Okay.
So like, I mean, these interviews are like an hour long, 45 minutes long.
Yeah.
So this issue is a lot more work in terms of probably like a little under 8 hours of audio for me to go through and transcribe. I have an AI app that transcribes it for me, but I have to go,
Nice.
but I have to go back and I have to it's not the best, so I have to go back and do all that stuff.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I mean, the pages for this next one are
Yeah.
double this, like
You're
probably
hyped.
48 pages,
Wow.
something like that.
Yeah.
Wow, really?
We probably
Yeah.
did like okay, so we did the in-depth interviews and met up with the bands and everything, but we didn't want to be clicky. That's not at all
Yeah.
what Brain Graffiti is. So we also, of course, did the same thing. We reached out to a bunch of bands as well and said, hey, we did the same thing we did for issue 1. We sent a couple questions over DMs, and there's going to be a huge section with like what you see in here,
Okay.
which is going to be great. And I mean, for this one, we went out, like in this issue, we have an outside perspective page that you probably saw, and that is like bands outside of Illinois. And we had a couple we had like 3 Madison bands that got back to us for this this one in here. And
Yeah.
but the next issue 2 we have I'm not saying anyone, but we have a couple bands we have like a band from Indiana, a couple from Madison, and then one from Minneapolis.
Yeah.
And so that's a very long response to your question.
Yeah.
No, that's good. That's awesome. I mean, that is like you're doubling the size
So
of the magazine.
excited
That's
for you.
pretty
Yeah.
sick.
So when did you start making the second? Because your second issue is obviously a massive production.
Yeah.
Like from day X to April 19. I'm sorry, April 27th.
Yeah.
From day X to April 27th. Like how long a process is putting together the entire magazine?
I mean, this one we started before a release show for that
the
one.
release show for this was November 24th of last
Yeah.
year
Okay.
at Core College.
We started it like pretty much right when we got done with it.
So what we did to start it, we didn't
We just reached out to people.
exactly.
Yeah.
We just reached out to people. It was not hands on yet at all.
Yeah.
We got all the interviews done before you even started doing you did the cover. You did the cover
I
and
did-
the back cover.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
then like after we met up with all the I got all the interviews done, and then
So I think we started it like November 15th. Like if to put an exact date, November 15th.
is when we started
wow.
reaching out.
Yeah.
And then the interviews took us, less than 2 months, probably a month and a half.
Yeah, we were done before Christmas.
Oh shit!
the
Yeah,
interviews.
we were done with the interviews before Christmas.
Yeah.
And
then the
yeah,
pages.
it's pretty crazy to think about. Yeah, we did 8 interviews in like a month, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not
Nice.
that. I mean, it's because we love it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I would say
Yeah.
I feel like the interview part is probably the most like the entertaining aspect
yeah.
of it, and then but it's also like the easiest part, and then going into all of that is everything else is probably
turning it into a
Yeah.
magazine is an entire experience in itself.
It's just like totally like once we get it in our like we ordered 2 test copies for ourselves just to check it out before like we actually like buy 50, 60, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And to have it in our hands, it's like, oh my god, you know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
holy shit, this is awesome.
No, I like that. I like the like reading on. I like the idea where it's just like this isn't like an online magazine. Like it's not that. It's just
That was our huge.
Yeah.
And I summed that like I kind of did a way long monologue on that first page about basically about that. Just the overconsumption of social media and shit. It's just you need physical shit in your hands nowadays.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, and I mean, you guys for sure could probably do this and make it really cool doing it online, but probably 100 different Instagram accounts already do that. I'm gonna guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I think that it's almost crazy to say like a magazine is not new, but like a one of its kind thing. But
Yeah.
being the one of its kind thing is definitely where it's
Yeah.
at.
oh yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
No, and I'm a huge fan of physical media. Like
Thank you.
I feel like
Yeah.
at a point I've given up on like music when it comes to that because it's taken over. But
Yeah.
I mean, I have like
To the
thousands of movies at home that just because it's like something about it. Like even like if I were to read this online, like it just doesn't have that same like effect to it because that's just one of the
Yeah.
many things you sort of pass by.
Yeah,
as
it's
you're-
just like anything. I mean, Jess and I both collect records. I have
Yeah.
no money because of records.
No,
I have no
literally.
money. We have no money
Literally.
because of records. Because of this and because of records, we have absolutely no money. And then Jess and I also collect movies. I think it's safe to say
Oh,
we collect
true.
DVDs
There we
and
go.
shit.
yeah.
Talking
That's what I was
right
just
guy.
saying. Yeah, I was like I have like 1,000
Yeah,
Blu-rays just
and
because.
just CDs, cassettes,
Everything.
literally everything. Because it's like Spotify's a great way to like. It's like, oh, I love this band, you know what I mean? And then it's like I want to support them even more, and because I love them so much, like I want to buy like their music, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And I feel like that's been lost because of, I'm preaching to the choir, you know what I mean? Like everybody knows this, but just reiterating it, it's like, just to like have that. It's just there's nothing really like it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I definitely get.
Yeah.
And when I was younger, it would be the same thing when I buy an album. Like, it's not like. I mean, a good example when this band I like, Enterprise Earth, they just put out a new album.
Yeah.
Like going through it, it's like like listening to it, it's like all right, this is good. But like going back in the day when you like buy it, like when you bought a CD, it's like this is you're flipping through. There's just so much more to it because I don't know, something about it makes it a little bit more special. At least I feel.
Sitting there and reading the
line notes
reading
in
the
there.
liner notes.
Yeah.
I'm
as
so
you're listening
bummed
to the
when
album.
records don't have liner notes.
Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
like,
It's like,
come on.
what's the point?
It's like, what's the point?
What's the point?
Well, I mean, I want to listen to the record
Yeah.
on a stereo, but it's like, shit. It's like I was waiting for some sick liner
That's like
notes.
the special little present.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
I
the
feel like
special present.
and
Yeah,
it's like more and I feel like it's more incentive for people to like go out and get it because it's not just it's like you get a more inside look
Yeah.
at the band
Yeah.
or whatever you're getting and whatnot.
To the point where I mean, going back to like old media dying, we've even had debates within ourselves about like, should we be making an album or should we just be releasing singles?
yeah.
Like I know, I mean, you're in a band too, so where do you guys go on that?
Oh Jesus.
I don't even know how I really feel because I still love the album. I also, my lifelong, I forgot, I've been in 4, 5, 6 bands now. My lifelong dream is still to write a concept album, and I've yet to do it. So, like,
I'm working on it.
yeah, yeah. But in terms of that question, I have no idea. I mean, I don't. I'm kind of stumped on that question because, like, I don't. If it's good music, I'm gonna listen to it. I don't care if it's an album. I don't care if
Right.
it's
Yeah.
a single. But it's like, of course, that I feel like that's not a small majority that think of that. But like, I don't know. It's just like you need like one big song to get like fucking huge. You know what I mean? So like, it doesn't matter if it's in an album. Doesn't mean if it's in a single. You know what I mean?
you
But
just
it's, like,
need the song.
it's yeah. You know what I mean?
Well,
But,
I think the singles go more towards the a volume of stuff that's out there now, because I mean, you really bands, releasing an album every 2 years.
Yeah.
You for first couple months people are listening to it, and then
Yeah.
a year and a half is just of you just touring the same thing.
Yeah.
So like the singles are kind of like keeping that churning, because that's what I like the albums. Like again, it's more of like sitting down and listening to an album like front to back. I think is a really, it just really gets you into like that kind of, like, 'cause I'm a huge fan of like the writing aspect and like the construction of like songs and stuff like that. So that's a good way to like get into like their head as to like how they write, as opposed to just this single is really good. Like obviously I enjoy, it's a good way to find a band, but I also think beforehand, like, you wouldn't. I could be wrong. Would the album already be out and then the single is what's promoting the album?
It's so weird. You look like, I don't know, like, it's kind of weird because like I love Wikipedia, and I love Wikipediaing bands and everything, and that sounds weird, but it's an inside joke between us. But no, that's really weird because like when I look back in the day, like for example, like when I would like Wikipedia Smashing Pumpkins all the time, because when I was really obsessed with them in like high school, I would like they released their album, but then like they would release like 3 singles after and like a single before. It's like really weird. Yeah.
The afters, I most of the bands I listen to don't do the single after.
I feel like it's if they have a music video for that.
That's probably why.
Yeah. Because I think they did all have music videos for those songs that they released singles for.
Because I'm just like my music history class, just kind of like going back, because I do feel like at least how the singles are now, it's kind of come full circle, because it used to be like you'd release like one of those small vinyls and it'd have like 2-3 tracks on it.
Yeah,
and
like a 45.
Yeah, and that's it. And then that's all you get. And it's just like there weren't a lot of albums. It was just like Elvis in this song kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And then eventually it became full albums. And now we've kind of come back to...
That's a really good point.
The singles and stuff. So albums will come back. Everything's cyclical.
Yeah.
Exactly. I hope albums come back.
Yeah, I don't know, man. But maybe it's just the old soul. Like, you would like listening to my dad talk about, when Rush would first come out, and like he'd go out and get like the 2112 or something. Just sitting in his room listening to it, like that was an activity.
Like if you think about it, like in the future, I'm be like when we're older, I'm be like, oh, do you remember Title Fight? It's like it's like you guys like, man, you guys don't remember Title Fight, like that. Yeah.
But I think that I thought that was just interesting, because again, it's like now I think I told you a quote that I heard that made me sad, that someone said eventually music is going to be like scented candles, where it's just like you're in a room, it's like, oh, that smells nice. It's just like kind of background stuff, as opposed to, I mean, I know I feel like more invested into it, I guess, as opposed to the casual person.
I guess what that comes down to is the generation after us as interested in not just listening to music, but that really comes from a playing music perspective. So you guys are actually perfect to answer. Like, do people still get hyped to play instruments?
I think so.
Okay.
Personally, I don't, because I lack motivation in that area. But I mean, I would like to, but time and stuff.
Yeah.
But I think it's still like is a desire for a lot of people. I mean, just looking at how many bands are around, and even people that are even like, oh, I want to start a band. They like start Instagram accounts. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think that, it's kind of hard to, talk about this when like I don't have like adequate like evidence from like past generations, but like, there's a very big like, scene of music happening right now. Like, it doesn't matter, Chicago, Indiana, Madison, Minneapolis, Iowa City, Kansas City, stuff like that. But no, people are still really excited to, pick up instruments. But like, I think that definitely the rise of technology probably has, probably cut that a little bit, in terms of like wanting to, pick up an instrument, I feel like. But I think my short answer is people are still very excited to pick up instruments. Yeah.
I've always wondered this for generations coming after me, because even it was just like, and even from a cost perspective, like instruments are getting more expensive.
Yeah.
And it almost seems like it's going to price younger people out of playing music.
Yeah. Well, I think that I always thought that it was slowly becoming more niche to be like, even like the last guitar I bought was like 800 something, but like when I was
There's a wall
starting
of
out,
orange amps behind me.
I don't even want to know how much Johnny paid for all this stuff, honestly. But the like when I first started out, like I bought like my first Fender was like $250, like 300 used, and like that's like you cannot find a good guitar or anything at that price nowadays.
I mean, I'm with the gear I have. I'm very minimal with the gear I have. I just have an orange head. I have this Marshall half stack that I bought off of OfferUp for cheap, which was awesome. One good guitar used and like 4 pedals, and that's it. And like, to be honest, like I've had no desire to buy any other music gear. If I break a cable, I gotta get a new cable. You know what I mean? But like, it is very expensive.
Yeah.
Going off the reason I brought that up is yes, it is expensive, which deters me from buying a lot of stuff, but also because I have no money as well, so I need to save.
Oh yeah. No, I have a few friends who are just like all they do is buy guitars. It's like how
do you have money?
Afford all
How
of
do you
this?
have money?
This wall, this guitar center that I've walked into.
Yeah.
I'm the drum version of that.
Yeah, I can't. I mean, yeah, I always complain about the instruments that I chose to play being too expensive, but looking at it, I'm glad I did not pick drums, because this would have been. I mean, something like this is just too
That's
much.
not necessary. I hate doing podcasts in this room. All I do is stare at my
Yeah,
drum
he just
set.
all he wants
I
to do
just
is
want to play the drums.
Yeah.
I guess going back to what you were saying, honestly, like even looking through this and the bands that are gonna be playing at the next release show, like I can't believe
April 27th.
There you go. I can't believe how many local bands there still are. Like and maybe it is because like a lot of these shows are DIY, and I'm not like they're not like advertised where I would be looking for it, I suppose.
Yeah,
or
we've
like,
been out of the scene a few years.
At like a venue where you have to sell tickets to go into it and stuff like that. But it just blows my mind. It's like, I mean, even looking at this, there's just like seeing these kids just like packed into these rooms. It brings me joy.
Oh, it makes me happy. I mean, because it sounds like you too. All I ever knew was you get on a bill at a local show and you have to sell X amount of tickets for some promoter who doesn't do jack for you. And like, I think as a younger kid, I was always like, why don't we just do this ourselves? And it makes me so happy to see that people a couple years younger than me just did it.
It's like,
thanks,
I mean,
guys.
it's
Thank
a-
you so much.
It's just like, fuck the middleman. Do
Yeah.
it yourself.
Do
Do it yourself. That's the whole ethos of this zine is do it yourself. You know, DIY, just completely. We don't need anyone to tell us when to do it, when to put it out. You know what I mean?
Or
It's
what's good.
Or
Yeah.
what's good. You know, it's our.
Yeah.
It's both of our passion projects. We both put the same amount of love and effort into it. We don't need some. You know, I mean, I don't know what would be the middleman of this. I want to know what
I
a
don't even
distributors
know.
and
Or an
like,
editor.
True,
If
yeah.
you guys had some kind of outside editor.
Yeah.
Fuck that stuff. Like we don't.
Yeah.
We don't. You know.
I'd rather do it myself.
Exactly.
too.
It's just
So-
it takes the stress off it. Well,
Yeah.
I mean.
Oh, there's tons of
stress.
stress.
different
Yeah.
stress. Yeah.
It's a different, different
Yeah.
stress. Exactly. Yeah.
But I couldn't. I to your point, like I couldn't imagine somebody sitting over there, kind of like we finish a podcast and like, oh, you shouldn't have talked about this.
Oh, we got some notes. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Don't give me notes. Like you don't need notes on this. This is tremendous. Like,
Thank you.
Thank
abs-
you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Really appreciate
And I think
that.
this is actually the positive side of like just like technology and all that
Mhm.
opening it up, is it makes it a lot easier for you to just be like, fuck it, let's just do a magazine, or let's just do a podcast, or just
And a band.
record.
Yeah.
Let's just put out albums, just
Mhm.
kind of do it, as opposed to that, like you're saying. Like I think that going through that distribution, and like the fact that you're not only like making it on your own, but you're also the person who's distributing it to people.
You're
like
the
that.
CEO of your company.
Yeah,
You're the
it's essentially
co-CEO
two
of
separate
your
companies
company.
that
Right.
you're doing. You're
Yeah.
both manufacturing and distributing everything. So that's definitely
I mean,
that's awesome.
I found, shout out Mix'em in Schaumburg. That's where we get this stuff printed.
Okay.
Yeah.
MIXAM. I mean, they have literally a whole section is zine printing on the website, and it's funny because I remember I looked up zine printing to do this. I looked up zine printing on Google, find something, and I found this thing called Mixum. I was like, oh shit, this is cool. And then I remember we ordered from there. It wasn't until after the release show, I think, I was like, oh, this is in Schaumburg. I was like, oh shit, this is like really, really close. I was like, oh, this is crazy. But yeah, I mean, like, it's like really easy to like do stuff like this nowadays. I mean, like, literally anyone could do this, which is so great. You know what I mean?
That is so. We were very pessimistic about things for a little minute. We were like having a funeral for
Wait, what?
music. I don't know. I felt like I was like complaining about.
Right now?
No, it was.
You've just been showing our age the entire time.
And now we're turning around to the beautiful side of it, where it's like you could just pick up and do this.
Yeah,
and it's great.
You just have to have the.
You have to know it.
You have to have the drive, that drive,
Yeah.
and that motivation to do it, and because
the discipline.
The discipline.
Yeah,
that's a little tough
Yeah,
sometimes.
yeah.
There's
that's what gets everybody.
There's days where we're chilling on the couch, like we're watching like True Detective or something on HBO. We're like, oh, we should.
Heck yeah.
We're like, oh, we should really get up and like work on it, but we're like.
I'm like,
this episode's so good.
I'm like, this is season 1. We
like,
cannot stop watching
we
this.
could do this
season 1 of
tomorrow.
True Detective is
Like,
awesome.
shit, like, we can't stop watching it.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a crazy balance in between. This is your second full-time job, and you have to work at it all the time, and knowing when to actually take a day off because you need a day off.
Yeah,
It's something I'm learning. Like today, I was editing last week's video episode, and like after that, I started doing a drum video, and I was like, no, because I gotta stop. Like, I'm seeing too many things right now.
Yeah, we completely relate to that because Jess and I both go to Elgin Community College. Both of our third years, last semesters at ECC, so we're totally trying to get our GP up and our grades. We both work. I have my band, and then I also like to take photos at stuff, and then I'm doing this, and it's like, but it's like I always tell myself that I'm so happy that this stuff is putting me in a bind. You know what I mean? It could be something totally else that could be putting us in a bind, but like just to be like, oh, I got band practice, then I'm taking photos at a show, then I got work on the zine. It's like, what else would I want to be, like stressed out with?
Yeah.
I gotta go do a video podcast.
Yeah. Like you're stressing yourself out with stuff that you love doing.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah. No, I get that.
It is good to remember that because, I get in that mode too where it's so we do the podcast, we play in a band, and then I also am involved in musical theater, and I work out every morning. So sometimes it's like, Jesus Lord, what am I doing all day? But it's all cool stuff.
Exactly. Yeah, that's just what you have to. That's got to be the first thing in your brain is like, I love this stuff, so keep going.
Yeah,
You
I
have to
think
remember
that's the the dedication and like that kind of like because if you're just trying to hack away at it and you're not enjoying it, that's where it kind of dies out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's how there was a point we started this podcast secretly my mission was to get him to play drums again because he stopped at a certain point.
I hated playing drums.
And so all we would do is when we're just sitting there talking, I would just randomly talk about, oh, I'm doing this. Listen to this song that I did, and then eventually it just kind of broke him.
Yeah.
Because it was like, because again, it's probably, I'm assuming you've like you said, you've had that before. You get to that point where your head's in it for so long that there's a certain point where you're just like, I need to just
That was this
go
issue.
away.
Yeah.
That was this
Yeah.
issue. That was a huge. We were like, because like we were totally like, because we had no idea what was gonna, we didn't know the reception to it at the time. Because we had nothing to show people besides, and also we were totally kind of transparent about it on social media. We just be like, oh, we're working on it. We have some announcements coming soon, and like we weren't.
And then we wouldn't announce anything.
And we wouldn't announce anything,
Yeah.
and then.
Don't feel
Yeah.
bad. We teased video for a year and a half.
Yeah.
Nice.
Literally a year and a half.
But yeah, I just mean it's like. But then now we're totally in it because the reception was great, so we're like.
Glad to hear
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
no, we were
It
really
was-
happy about it. It's kind of crazy because like if people love this one, we're gonna not gloating. I feel like we're gonna
I
knock
feel like the
people's socks
second
off
one
the
is
next
10 times better.
No, yeah,
So,
not from a gloating standpoint whatsoever. It's just
Yeah.
like we're so much more prouder of this one.
You
Yeah.
grow. You
Exactly.
fixed all the things you learned the first one.
Exactly.
I shouldn't say
Yeah.
fixed. That's not even a fair thing. But like,
No, you
no,
use, no,
we
you
fixed so many
No,
things.
you use,
We
you
fixed
use-
so many
you use the
things.
correct term. Fix
Yeah.
is it? Yes.
No, that makes sense though, because especially with this, if you're not, it's not even, you don't have a ground to stand on. You're just sort of like trying it and see what happens. So I can see the stress going into that, but now that you actually have a good idea of what that is, I can just kind of flourish from there.
Yeah.
I'm super excited for that second one. Honestly,
Thank
the
you.
fact that it's just like double the amount of this.
Oh yeah.
is
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah.
Because I forgot. Correct me. I forgot if I said this or not already. But we have the 8 people that we interviewed in person, and those pages are like 4 to 6 pages each.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, okay.
Of each band.
That's
Yeah.
cool. That's like one of those OG like Guitar World, or what was the drummer one? Modern Drummer.
Modern Drummer.
Yeah. What was the bass player one?
There's a
Bass World.
Was
I think
it-
it was
I
just
think it was
Bass
World.
World.
I think it was bass player.
I thought it was because I remember I used to get Guitar World all the time.
Okay.
And you would see like I'm pretty sure it was just Bass World.
Oh, was it?
It was
Okay.
Like, sure.
Yeah.
Here you go. Let's interview Pete Wentz for like the 4th time.
Yeah. And for the next one, we're excited that the font is a little smaller, which it sounds like.
Oh my gosh.
It sounds like a bit of like why are you bringing that up? But it does make it a little more professional.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can get more in there. That's
No, yeah.
Yeah.
Literally. Yeah.
Like the font is huge in that.
Yeah, it's
like-
that's something that we fixed as well.
Yeah.
And like you could tell, like I think right here, like we ripped this part off because you could
I
tell.
love
like,
that, though.
Because like the white
Yeah.
is And
Yeah.
I
there's
think
some
this was
part.
one of the pages I love. I think let me get back to it. Where like you have the scribbles in here, almost like they're edits.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
I think
Thank
it's
you.
great.
That was all Jess. That's
I like this
yeah. No,
one.
seriously.
I like I like these where it's like just the random words overlaid.
No,
on
and that
there.
was
Yeah.
totally on purpose because like it wouldn't fit on the right
Yeah.
side, so we had to cut them out.
We had so many issues like scanning the pages.
Oh my God,
Like
we-
that was like we spent $50 at UPS and they scanned all the pages
They
sideways.
scanned it horizontally, and then I
And
went to the guy.
That would have shattered me.
Dude, I was like,
It was like
so we went to the UPS by Jess's house.
0 shout outs to UPS.
Zero
No.
zero shout outs. Okay, so yeah, we went to the UPS by Jess's house, got him scanned, and then we went back to her house to check. Oh no, I think I had my laptop with me in the car just to make sure. And
Yeah.
I'm looking at it, and I'm like, and it's like, and it's scanned like this. Like, think this is vertical. It's
Yeah.
scanned like this. And I'm
and
like,
it's cut off too.
and it's cut
like
off too. It's like, what the hell? And I bring it to the guy, and I'm like, hey man, you scanned it wrong. He's like, I don't know, bro. And then I just walked out.
I don't know, bro.
We're like, have you read a book before?
Yeah, I'm like, what? And then we took it to the UPS by my house, and they scanned it the correct way, but it was
the pages were too big.
pages were too
and they were
big.
like cut in half. And that was our consistent issue because we ended up scanning it at our college.
we ended up scanning it at ECC. Yeah, so the big issue with it was
the pages were too big.
the pages that we like made. We made it on 8.5 by 11. So like,
Yeah.
and that's how big this is, and
Okay.
that like the standard magazine size, and that's how big we wanted to do it. But we didn't realize that like the scanner at our college was like that exact size, which sounds
Yeah.
weird. But
Oh
like
yeah,
it,
so
like-
it was kind of cutting off.
so
like,
that's why we had
Yeah.
to do that stuff. Like,
I got
cut
it.
off the,
And like I didn't know what a bleed was or what a margin was.
so if you
So,
look at every single top,
ev-
there's
There's a black line
like,
because
little
I had to
black
add a
lines at the
bleed
top. Wait, can you see them?
on
I
the
can't see him.
on the cover. You
On the
can.
cover, it's like
A lot,
very small,
yeah.
but like you.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like it's kind of not that noticeable. But of course, us
Yeah.
creating it, we're like, fuck.
See,
Yeah.
I almost think like it's like going back like where's that page? I almost something like this. Like I almost feel like that just adds to the magazine. Like even though it's just
the
like
80s underground.
yeah, even though it's just like God, this is stressful. Why isn't it doing it? It's just
Yeah.
now it's just extra flair that's added.
Yeah.
to
Throw
it.
in more
Yeah.
art.
In retrospect, yeah, I think we can
Yeah.
both think like, in the moment we were like,
In the moment I was beating myself up, I was like,
we were
"Oh
like,
my
all right,
god!"
we were like expo cut. We were like, okay, get all the letters, and then yeah, now we're like, it does look a little, looks.
Yeah.
It definitely adds to that aesthetic that we were going for. Yeah.
This is I'm really excited to read about this.
This one is in black and white. Is episode is
Episode
Episode two.
Yeah.
Episode 2.
Sorry. Is that is black and white the theme or we okay?
Yeah.
Black and white. Yeah.
Yeah.
We had talking about colors, and we might, but black and white. We'll see. Probably not. But we just kind
Yeah.
of like the.
Aesthetic.
Yeah, again,
Yeah.
it fits the
Yeah,
aesthetic
it does.
perfectly.
Yeah. because all my photography is in black and white as well. So I mean that kind of added to it. But I mean,
Yeah.
that wasn't really the big.
Well,
that wasn't the big.
And like
decide or
I
whatever.
primarily work in black and white
Okay.
too, so
That's
Yeah.
I mean, that looks nicer. That's whenever we do our episode heads, the ones that are in black and white are like my favorite. Just I don't know if you've listened to like one of the episodes.
Yeah.
Just the Photoshop pictures of our
Yes.
faces on just
They're
anything.
awesome.
Yeah, I
We
think
Yeah.
love them.
I think
Yeah.
I think it's hilarious. But like the black and white, like the last one where I forgot what it was some like old timey boxing match. But just something about the black and white photos,
Yeah.
it just makes
Yeah.
it, even though it doesn't like hide the like dumbness that it is, 'cause it's just me
ridiculousness?
just slapping our faces on like some 40s boxer or something
Yeah.
like that. But yeah. What I did have another question for you, but prior to that though, we gotta go back to one more podcast question.
Please.
I wish
All right.
I would have prepped you guys for this.
Yeah.
I totally
No,
forgot.
this is great.
No, this
Now,
is awesome.
We've been bending the rules a little bit.
We have.
But we originally would ask people, how familiar are you with Pokemon? See, and this is why we bend the rules.
Okay.
That's why we had to bend the rules.
I mean, when I was, I really never got into the whole. I was like, how old was I? I was like, probably like I really took notice to it like second, third, fourth grade. That's probably showing our age and how young we are. But like I remember like I was that young, and you'd buy the Pokemon pack, and you would have the it'd come with that little
The
the
badge,
battle,
yeah.
the battle
dueling-
thing, the dueling
yeah.
thing, yes. And I had the Pokemon book, like the first gen Pokemon book. This is all news to Jess. And
No, I didn't tell you my experience with Pokemon.
what?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay, mine. I want to hear this.
When I was in kindergarten, like Pokemon cards were very controversial. Like it was like serious. It caused fights.
You know what?
In my
I like
kindergarten.
I was when they came out. I was how old was I when I came? I think I was in third grade or no. Something like that. It was like 95, 96, something like that. But I did hear it's just like kids would fight over it. There were people like stealing stuff and like
Yeah.
would just outright ban them in schools. Like
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a controversy. But like my only knowledge is like what pictures I thought were cute on them.
Okay.
And so yeah.
So if you had to make a band,
yes, that
could you do it out of Pokemon, or
Oh,
would you like us to go
Is
to
there
the
is there
backup?
another medium that you feel confident enough?
Like
'Cause that's-
I did one with TV characters.
Oh.
yeah,
TV
I've
characters.
TV characters.
Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah.
Alright.
So you want to build your band and then pick a genre that it would be, and then
Okay.
afterwards figure out a good name for him. But and this could be anyone. I mean, you
Okay.
had like
I had like a 9-piece like it was a progressive metal band with 2 violins and a classical pianist.
but it had
Like Scott Van Pelt from Sports Center and Sam from Rocket Power.
Nice.
Yeah, and like Ned Stark. Like it was all over the map.
Nice. Oh God. I might do the classic 4-piece, but I gotta think
Alright.
on it.
Okay, well, to start, I think I'm gonna do a shoegaze band.
Okay.
okay.
We're gonna do a shoegaze band. I think because I'm wearing the sweatshirt, I'm gonna go with primarily Twin Peaks characters.
Nice.
you know?
Okay.
I think we will have who on the drums.
Andy.
You know what? Andy does seem like
A
a drummer. I think Truman would be lead guitar. Yeah.
Yeah.
Coop would obviously be vocals.
Yep.
But I feel like he'd play bass too.
Okay.
And then
2 guitarists.
yeah, we'll do another guitarist. We'll have Laura Palmer be the other guitarist.
Nice.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I haven't watched Twin Peaks in so long. Isn't there a lot of murders and mysteries in that?
Yeah.
So
Best show ever. Okay.
Best show ever.
Jess put me on to when we started dating. She put me on the, Twin Peaks, and I've never looked back. Okay, now back to the question. Okay. Oh God. How about we do a new metal band?
All right.
Yes.
In the vein of Limp Bizkit, but we'll just do. Wait, does Limp Bizkit have 2 guitarists or 1 guitarist? I forgot.
I think they have 2. I don't know.
I only
I'm
know
thinking- I
Wes Borland.
No,
Yeah,
because
I
don't
only
they
know
have
the
a
one guy.
4-piece band?
Is it just 4-piece?
Yeah, I think
Because I know Korn is 2.
Yeah.
They're a 5-piece.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think I'm pretty sure they only have the one guitarist, right? I don't. It's been a while since I've watched like a live performance of Limp Bizkit.
Yeah.
I think they're a 4-piece.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll just do the drummer, guitarist, bassist, and then the. Okay. Oh god. Okay, drummer will do.
They technically had 5 because they had a turntable guy.
But you gotta have the turntable.
Okay,
No,
okay.
yeah.
Okay, turntable.
DJ
guy.
Lethal.
DJ Lethal. Alright. So on turntable we'll have like fictional like TV characters.
Yeah,
or,
you
like,
could pick
yeah.
anybody.
You can do
Anybody.
anything on a TV character, yeah. Anything on a TV show.
Oh, okay. I'll have Larry David on vocals.
There you go.
Dude,
Okay.
Larry David on vocals. I know that's an actual person, but Curb.
No, it counts.
Okay, we'll have.
That would be so funny.
Then we'll do. How about sticking with like Curb Seinfeld universe, we'll have Kramer on drums.
That makes sense.
We'll do Kramer on
his
drums.
hair would be very entertaining
Right,
to
yes.
watch.
I feel like he'd be doing a lot of stick tricks.
I just can't think. I can't stop thinking of Larry David just doing break stuff.
Yeah.
Some days you just don't want to wake up. Sorry, go ahead.
And then on. Did I say turntable? Not turntable. Okay, turntable will have.
It's got to be somebody ridiculous.
That's true.
You should have like Walter White.
Oh,
Turntable.
that's good. We'll do No. Tuco. We'll put Tuco
Tuco?
on turntable.
There you go.
We'll put Tuco on turntable. How about that? And then we'll do. Okay, so now we need a bassist and a guitarist. Bassist will do. Wait, doesn't Jesse play bass in an episode? Or is that his friend in Breaking Bad?
Oh,
I forgot if he did or not.
That might have been his friend. I'm trying.
I think he was rapping. I think
Yes.
his friend was playing bass and he was rapping. Okay, we'll do. How about we'll put Skylar White on bass. How about that?
Oh, she's the worst.
And then on guitar we'll do. Oh God, this is like the main man right here. What should we do? Should we do drama or comedy?
Go with a comedy.
Comedy. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be a nice juxtaposition
Okay.
between
Yeah.
Tuco on the turntables.
Screw it. I'll just put Newman on guitar. How about that?
There we go.
Heck yeah.
With Jerry off on the side glaring the whole
Yes.
time.
He's in Corn. Jerry's in Corn.
Exactly.
It's perfect.
He's like, they're stealing my sound.
Right.
What are? I'm sorry.
This is a good segue.
Oh yes. I don't really know how to get out of it. Well,
No,
wait,
yeah.
what was the band?
You don't
names?
get out. Oh, yeah.
Oh.
God, what's your band name?
Oh. We'll call.
Can't use Twin Peaks.
Oh,
though.
see, I was going to say you have a cop-out. You could use Twin
Yeah.
Peaks.
Oh
Yeah, that's so true.
Yeah.
No, there already is a band, Twin Peaks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chicago, right? Chicago band Twin Peaks.
It's okay, this is our world.
That's true.
Yeah.
You
Should we call it
The Twin Peaks.
The Twin
The
Peaks.
Right.
Twin
Yeah.
Peaks?
There we
Yeah.
go. The Twin Peaks.
There you go.
There we go.
And
Copyright free.
How about in the Seinfeld universe, we'll do Spare a Square.
Perfect.
There it is.
I don't. Do you want something even funny? I'm not even that big of a Seinfeld person.
Yeah.
But
fine,
I
that's
had
crazy.
yeah.
No, it worked, especially if you have Larry David doing vocals.
Right.
You gotta have, yeah. You gotta throw that out there. But yeah, what I was gonna say was the sense, and this is more of an educational thing for us. What were some of your favorite local shows, either in Chicago or Elgin, just like any that you've been?
I know you mentioned Madison.
Yeah,
you played a few weeks ago.
either for the magazine, before the magazine, any of that stuff.
Could it be like anything?
Yeah,
Like literally anything. My all-time favorite show that I've ever been to was the Totally Cashed release show for, oh my God, what's the album called?
World's First Country.
World's
Band.
First Country Band. That show was crazy.
Shout out Shoegaze.
There's a
Yeah.
band called the World's First Country Band.
No,
That's
that's
what
the
their
album.
album's
That's the
called.
album.
Okay.
Yeah.
You said that was a shoebuzz?
Yes. Yes.
And then second favorite.
We're gonna have a bunch.
Oh
Go
my
nuts.
gosh, yeah.
Yeah, go for it.
My second favorite was the last Halloween Darkroom show when you guys did your title fight
we did
cover
title
set.
fight cover set.
It was
Oh,
crazy.
that sounds really fun.
Title
I've
what?
always wanted to
It's
do
really
a Halloween cover set.
It was really fun.
It was that was like my favorite moment. Seriously, I'm not biased because you're in swim shirts. Just because
The
it was,
crazy thing is, she doesn't really.
I don't
no
know
lyrics.
any lyrics to any songs except for title fight songs.
And then I'm
so-
looking at Jess in the audience, and she's singing the words. I'm like, wait, what? Yeah.
Coheed and Cambria this Halloween.
Yeah, that'd
Yeah.
be fun. I'll put on.
We'll find a show.
I'll put a wig on.
Hell yeah.
And then I don't know.
There's so many.
There is so many.
Every single
Like-
one. I mean, it's so special.
Seriously, yeah. And then I don't know, when we went to that one show at Beat Kitchen, there was like, well, we left early, but there was like all those bands. I know Banks, Super
Yeah,
Kick.
there was like, it was like a 6-band bill. It was crazy. It was
Yeah.
like Binks, Day Long Sai, Super
Shoegaze.
Kick, Shoegaze from Milwaukee, and there's this band from Indianapolis called Nothing Club, who were really good. It was just like a
Yeah.
crazy long bill, and it sucked because I had to get up at 5 the next day. So we're like, fuck, I gotta go home.
We've been there.
Yeah, those
Yeah.
are. I say my old vocalist, when he went to school at Northern, there would be days where I would go to Northern, pick him up, drive back to basically where I live to like have a show, and then at like 12 o'clock at night, drive all the way back to Northern to go drop him off. It was the worst.
Story of our
It
lives.
was terrible.
Story of our lives. I've had to switch my shift hours around just so I can like function.
No, yeah.
Do you have any more?
Oh. The last Scarlet D'Amour release show was super fun.
That was fun at Lincoln Hall. That was pretty cool.
And Kangaroo Court.
And Kangaroo Court release show at Lincoln Hall.
Yeah.
That one was really
Yeah.
fun too.
We're gonna have Scarlett D'Amour on. at
Yeah,
some
we're
point
trying to get
when
that
they're
one
out
out
Oh,
here
that's
too.
Oh.
sick. Oh, cool. Nice. Nice.
That was that when we were talking about this on the way here after I was like just doing research on you
Yeah.
guys and whatnot. I was like, I love that they're basically like doing what we're doing, where it's like, because that we for the longest time we did a lot of stuff that was just kind of focused on like writing and then just a bunch of random us just like talking shop or whatnot.
Yeah.
But then now we're trying to switch over to like doing more like band interviews and sticking to like local stuff just
Yeah.
to see like how the scene is and whatnot. And then when, like I said, when he sent me this and I started looking into it, I'm like, oh my god, they're just it's like
yeah,
it's already
Scarlett, Kat from Scarlett D'Amour actually sent in a response, and it's
Yeah.
pretty long.
Yeah, I saw
Yeah.
on the site that you got that they were one of the ones that
Yeah,
were in here.
it's like, what is it like?
It's like at the beginning.
Yeah, it's like at the beginning. I think it's right after. I'm sorry.
You're
It's like
good.
right after. It should be like right here.
Yeah.
Oh shit, this one?
Yeah, and it goes until like right
Oh,
here. Yeah,
it's like 2 pages. It's awesome.
and I mean, it was. I think just having the artist talk and not just seeing the photos is like a really
Right.
huge
Yeah.
thing as another aspect of it. I mean, our whole purpose for this always changes, but it's kind of I don't know.
We change
Yeah.
purposes every
Yeah.
20
yeah,
episodes.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We grow. That's how
Yeah.
it works. Is there anything now? Obviously, issue 2 isn't out yet. Have you
Yeah.
guys been working on issue 3, or is issue 2 still like in the
Issue
process?
2 still in the process.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we talk about issue 3.
we talk about issue
all the
3 and
time.
issue 4 and issue 5 all
Yeah.
the time. So,
Yeah.
We talk about episode 200.
Yeah, we're just
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, but our process is for issue 3 right now is the same as it was for issue 2 during the first release before the first release show, which is making notes about bands that we want to reach out to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure, understandable. And how do you just go to shows and find people, or do you have like people suggest bands that you check out, or is it just like
More
here's
of
all these local shows, let's go check out X
it's a
amount?
mix of everything, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's great once you follow one venue. Like for us, it was following the Dark Room, and then from there it was like Book Club, Core Cottage, Side Street Studio Arts, Beat Kitchen, Subterranean. Then you follow all these bands, because it's just so connected. Once you're in with one thing,
That's
you
you're
soon
into the
f-
scene. Basically.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of due diligence on our part, just trying to find cool stuff. And in all honesty, like I don't think this is anything spoiler worthy, but like we are trying to like reach out to a lot of bands across the Midwest. Of
Yeah.
course, we're staying local, most definitely, but we would love to, talk to a lot of, people around the Midwest as well, which would be super cool because, like everyone's making amazing music.
Oh
You know
yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We joked a while back about doing our local scene music awards.
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh, nice.
The
Dude,
Chuggies.
The
I've had this
Chuggies.
idea for about a year now, and it's called the Chuggies.
Yeah.
like
Exactly.
Nice.
Yeah. And once we get enough bands on and we talk to enough people about it, we're gonna make it happen.
That's gonna be
It's
sick.
a
'cause
whole award
I
show.
mean, this brings me such joy just because it's like there's so much more local scene than I thought there was.
Oh,
I
yeah,
thought
there
it was
is.
dead.
Yeah,
No, it's not
genuinely
at
thought
all.
It was,
It's really not.
yeah, and I love that it's just it's just all this like underground kind of stuff. Is there any place that you or any bands that you have like do you have like a dream like band or dream place or something that you want to shoot for the moon
Like the
for
bucket
kind of
list?
thing?
Yeah.
I'm saying if you're keeping it Midwest,
No.
so like
Oh yeah. Do you want to go? Or do you want me to say it?
You go.
You want me to go? Well, we of course we want to keep it Midwest, but why not just reach out? Because I mean, like we're all in the same rock music sphere. You know what I mean? So why are you laughing?
Because I know what you're gonna say.
I'm dancing around it. Okay.
Just say it.
No, let me just I need to explain myself before I say this.
Gotta hype them up.
I have to explain myself before I say this. Because like, okay, fuck it, I'll just say it. We want to talk to this band called Modern Color, from Los Angeles. I know, not Midwest, but they're in the current sphere of music. Then this band called Narrowhead from Texas, not Midwest. Fleshwater, who is from Boston, not Midwest, and then this band called Soulblind, who is from the Hudson Valley of New York, not Midwest. But
That's what you call that. I keep going to say episode.
Yeah. That just
It's called Not Midwest.
Yeah,
There you go.
no,
That's
true.
just three separate. You got Brain Graffiti, and then West Coast Brain Graffiti,
Yeah,
East Coast,
Not
yeah,
Midwest,
easy.
right. Yeah, but we just want to talk to anybody creating cool music. You know what I mean? I mean, they have that really popular song. I feel like it's big on Instagram. It's the first one, Pale.
Pale.
Yeah.
Oh, that song's so good.
It's very shoegazy, screamo. To be honest, it's kind of hard to describe it. Okay. From the Leaves of Your Garden. Oh my God, that record's incredible. So amazing.
I like this.
I dig
This
that,
this
yeah.
reminds. This does have that like, what is it? Midwestern emo? Is that like the genre
Midwest emo,
kind of
yeah,
thing
yeah,
where it's
yeah,
just
yeah.
like very like ambient rock almost like
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
Those I'm digging that. No, I mean, shoot for the moon. That's I know we've definitely
Absolutely.
yeah. But again, it always goes where like moving from this, I feel like those ideas are just gonna get bigger and bigger as your issues come out.
Because you'll realize you're capable of more. It's where you're like, oh, we can never do that, so I'm not even gonna say it out loud. And then in 6 months, you're like, no, we can get. Blank.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have to ask
Yeah.
Jess something real quick before I say this.
Wait,
We totally could have covered for you, but we didn't.
What about it?
Should we bring it up or no?
Yeah.
Go ahead, you can bring it up.
Oh, for issue 3, because we're like scared that people think we are cliquey because
We're not.
We're not. We
We've
love
had-
like every
We've
band.
been having many internal battles about that. Like,
Yeah.
Are we clicky? Are we clicky?
Yeah,
Are we clicky?
Oh, you mean just like talking about like this
Like-
scene just for the sake of it, or
I mean, reaching out to
Okay.
bands
People
because
thinking, like, oh, they're not reaching out to us.
yeah,
No,
because
you're fine.
because it was just like we DM a band and like it would like I don't know, like we weren't really like posting like, oh, you can submit to us or anything. We weren't really promoting that because we didn't think
we
anyone
didn't think about it.
would
What's
want
like?
to.
We weren't thinking about that whatsoever.
So for issue 3, we're like gonna promote that like you can just submit to it and you can get in it.
We're doing open
like,
submissions for issue 3.
Nice. Sure.
So yeah,
Yeah.
like we were so scared. We're like, oh my God, are people gonna think we're clicky? Like we're not. Like set the record straight. We are not
Yeah.
because we want every band to have the opportunity to be in this thing. You know what I mean? Because we don't want them to be snubbed. You know what I mean? From
Right.
doing
Yeah.
something like this.
no, yeah,
Yeah.
no, I totally get that.
That was the big news. I don't know if we wanted to disclose that yet or not.
I mean,
Does it really matter?
no, it doesn't.
No,
It doesn't matter.
Like,
No,
yeah.
that's cool. And I know you guys have your website is braingraffiti.org.
Yes.
Yeah.
.com was taken.
.com.
Oh.
Was it
Yeah.
really?
Yes, it was taken.
Yeah.
I was trying to buy that domain. I'm like, it's taken. I'm like, are you kidding
What
me?
is
Yeah,
Brain
let's look.
Graffiti?
Yeah, now I'm
I don't
curious.
know.
You pulling
look
it up?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll pull it
All
up.
right. I'm gonna stop googling then. That's crazy. Your magazine in my phone is Brian Graffiti. It would not stop when him and I were texting originally about it. It would not stop.
The amount of
Oh,
I
yeah,
was so
yeah,
mad.
I was like-
so mad at Apple.
Yeah, I was like, I've never heard of who's this Brian
Who's
Graffiti
Brian
person?
Graffiti? And then I'm reading his text, and I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And then I scroll up, it's like, "Oh, that's why he's confused." I was confused.
when I first came up with the name,
That was a shot at Apple.
yeah, shout out
I want
Apple.
everybody to know.
Shout
that
at
I'm
Apple.
mad at Apple.
Yeah, when I first brought up the name to the people I was supposed to do it with, one of the girls was like, "Oh, she's like, oh, Brian Griffin." They keep saying
That's
Brian.
not a bad.
And it was so funny because we posted. I remember we posted something on our Instagram, and then they commented just like Brian Griffin, and that was like the only comment on it. It was
Well, then
so
I made that Brian Griffin sticker.
That's true. We
too.
did make
Perfect.
stickers, and it's
Lean
Brian
into it.
Griffin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And
You'll
it's,
get internet trolls for
yeah,
everything.
and it's funny
Yeah.
because when we've for issue 3 possibly talking to more people, we'd reach out to like through email. Like I'd email like it's so weird like emailing like managers and stuff.
It's crazy.
It's really weird
Yeah.
because like we were so used to like DMing like
Yeah.
shout out Binks. They were in issue
Right.
1, like just DMing them on Instagram, being like, hey, do you guys want to be in the zine? They're like, yeah, sure. But like going through like managers, it's so weird. But like I sent like this really long email to them, and they're like, hey, Brian, like how you doing? And I said our names. I'm like Matt and Jess, and they're like, hey, Brian, how you doing? It's like what?
Yeah, I guess I wouldn't like going through like a publicist or something.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
so
talking to
weird.
Lance Bass's publicist. Yeah,
Oh, is that you did do that?
I did
didn't
talk
you?
to Lance Bass's publicist.
We
We have a long bit going with Lance Bass.
Yeah. at one point, our podcast charted higher than his.
Oh,
So we
really?
At
just-
several points.
Yeah. Okay. So we've just been so it's just like playful shit talking
Yeah.
to
Yeah, yeah,
last
yeah.
bands
And
from
I
NSYNC.
Want to get
Yeah.
Lance Bass on the show
Yeah.
because of it. Yeah.
I just want to point out I typed in braingraffiti.com.
Yeah, what is it?
And it says this domain is registered to dian.com, website coming soon. So there's not even a website.
What the heck, man?
So you got to find out when the domain expires
That's
and buy
true.
it before they buy it up.
That's true.
True.
I don't know what any. Yeah, it's just.
That's
Yeah,
weird.
we'll figure it. Okay. We'll get all figured out.
We'll,
get that
we'll
back.
put our people on it. Jesus.
Yeah, this has been really fun.
This has
It's
been a
been-
blast.
Yes.
I'm super stoked to go through all of this.
Thank you.
Yeah.
This has been incredible.
I
It's
can't
been
wait to
so fun.
see episode 2.
Episode 2,
Stay with
episode
it.
3, and episode 4.
It's Saturday, August 27th, Syndicate Skate Park.
No, it is April
April.
27th.
April.
April.
I would got it right the entire time except the sign off.
Saturday, April 27th at Syndicate Skate Park in Elgin. Shout out Ian, owner of Syndicate Skate Park. Super cool dude. Loved what we were doing. Said he'd love to be a part of it. And he's putting up this awesome space for us to have it in. And we are going to just, do what we did last show. And,
Yeah.
we've been having this internal battle, like, oh my god, are people going to show up to the second release show? Like that's so weird. We're thinking
Yeah.
about that, but like it's hard not to think about that.
No, oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
It's just,
Yeah.
because it's with anything you're putting yourself out there. I'm assuming it's the same with like the band and stuff too, where
Yeah.
you're just like, is anyone gonna listen?
Yeah, and it's great because all the bands on that bill are like, I don't want to say they're all different genres, but I mean kind of.
They all are.
Yeah,
In a way,
like-
yeah.
For the band Frontega, they're Midwest emo-ish. Is that a good way to describe them? You think? Kind of Midwest emo, and then the band Heaving is like a little more like, kind of like the heavy shoegaze sort of like wave that's been going around, and then Stalled is a little slowcore and alternative, and then Night Freak is just straight up hardcore / punk / metal. We love doing very diverse bills with this
Okay.
stuff because we love we're showing people like, hey, like the zine isn't just hardcore, it's not just slowcore, it's not just shoegaze, it's not just this. Like when you come to the show, you're going to see all of the representations of the genre,
For sure.
and that's what it was for the first issue as well. Yeah.
No, I love that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Especially, that's a good. It's just like here's what Chicago has to offer type
Yeah.
of thing.
Yeah.
17 different genres.
17 different genres.
Well, thank you guys very much for coming down.
Of
This was
course.
an absolute blast.
Did you have anything? Did you want to plug anything else? Is there any tags aside from the show? Braingraffiti.org.
Do you want to Anything else?
Is that
you
the
wanna plug?
Instagram as well?
Yes.
Just Brain
Brain,
Graffiti.
Brain Graffiti Chicago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to plug?
And we'll put all the links down in the
Okay.
description
Yeah,
below.
for sure.
I'm trying to think of some stuff to shout out.
Your
right
photo
now.
account.
Nah, I don't want to shout out my photo.
Matt
account.
Brady photo.
There you go. You
92.
I feel weird shouting out my own stuff.
took a bunch of tight pictures of it. It was my Instagram pic for
Yeah,
a while.
for a while.
That's
One
yeah.
of your pictures.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. That's such a weird, like, oh my god, they made that. But shout out just to everybody that is stuck with us. Shout out to literally all of the fans. Shout out to I think we said the bands, but we'll say them again we did, and we don't want to spoil the bands that for issue 2 that aren't announced yet, but we just want to say
Oh, there's more.
yeah, like the
Damn.
small responses
Oh.
in
Yeah.
issue 2. Yeah.
Okay.
We want to shout out Night Freak, Stalled, Frontega, Heaving,
Muddle, Cheerleader
Muddle,
Roadkill,
Cheerleader
White
Roadkill,
Orchid.
White Orchid.
I love band names nowadays.
I know. Oh my god, I totally forgot.
I'm forgetting
Oh my
someone.
god, the name is. They're literally on the bill.
Did you say
Jesus.
Athena?
Athena. Shout out Athena. Oh my god. I feel bad for getting them. Jesus.
No, you're doing great.
Shout out every single local venue. Shout out Pit Stop. Shout out Dark Room. Shout out Core Cottage. Shout out Syndicate Skate Park. Shout out Fargo's. Shout out.
We're already following them all on
Shout
Instagram.
out
I got
Fargo
you.
Skate Park in DeKalb. Shout out.
Shout out Fred for making our shirts.
Yeah, Fred Mason, who is
Follow Fred.
he is the drummer in both Night Freak and Satin Black.
Oh, sweet.
Funny enough, he is headlining. He headlined his show. His band Satin Black headlined issue 1 release show, and funny enough, his band is headlining issue 2 release show, which
Nice.
is funny.
All right.
And he's making our shirts.
Nice.
Shout out him at Sneezeweed on Instagram. He's a great graphic designer, great print shirt maker. He makes fucking dope shirts. He did our last shirts for issue 1. God, see, I'm gonna be in the car and be like, "Fuck, I forgot to shout these people out." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That just means you got to come back.
Shout out my parents. They're gonna listen to this.
Hell yeah.
My mom, before I left, was like, "Send me the link." Shout out my parents. Shout out my family. Shout out Jess, because she's the best. And
Shout out Matt.
And I don't know where I'd be if it weren't for her, because
No, like same to you. Seriously.
yeah.
It was your idea to make this, so
But you brought it
Sure.
out and made it amazing. So, and it turned out to something we didn't think it was gonna be. But yeah,
true.
We need to be more complimentive of each other like that.
Yeah, I get right on that.
yeah. But that's about it, I think. Yeah.
Thanks,
Shout
guys.
out my band. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.
This band's tight.
Thank you.
Shout
Thank
out
you.
Swim Shirt.
Shout out
There
Swim
we go.
Shirt.
We'll get the band done, and then another episode, and then we'll check up after the
Hell yeah.
second issue 2 for sure.
Dope.
Yep.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
We'd love to do this single time.
Anytime.
Anytime.
Seriously,
You have our
yeah.
emails.
Contact with you soon.
Please.
Yeah, wait, hey, I gotta go back to the Colbert
Oh,
thing.
yeah.
Brain Graffiti issue 1, you could buy it now on Bandcamp, braingraffiti.bandcamp.com. And yeah, thanks guys.
Nice. Thank
we
you.
haven't figured it
Thank
out.
you.
Just go ahead and wave at the camera.
No idea how to
Still
do
haven't figured this out yet.